Farming. It's the foundation of everything. That avocado toast you love? Thank a farmer. Those fresh tortillas? Farmer. They're out there, day in, day out, working harder than most of us. Under the blazing sun or in the pouring rain. These folks are the real MVPs. They feed the world. We often forget that, but they are crucial. Now, what's a farmer's super tool? The tractor. Think of it as their Iron Man suit for growing food. These machines are beasts. They plow, plant, and harvest. Without them, farming would be a whole different, much harder ballgame. Tractors are the unsung heroes of your dinner plate. Imagine trying to farm acres of land by hand, like in the old days. It would be slow, painful, and food would be scarcer, more expensive. Tractors revolutionized agriculture, making large-scale farming possible. They're a cornerstone of modern life. So when something goes wrong with a tractor, it's not just a mechanical issue, it's a crisis for the farmer. Their livelihood is on the line. Their ability to produce food is at risk. This isn't like your car breaking down and you're late for brunch. This is about survival, about feeding families and communities. It's that deep. When a tractor stops, everything stops. The stakes are high. Every hour lost can mean lost crops, lost income. That's why keeping these machines running isn't just important, it's essential. Farmers depend on their tractors, and in turn, we all depend on farmers. The chain is that direct. So next time you see a tractor, remember, it's not just a machine. It's the steel muscle behind every meal. And when that muscle falters, the whole system feels it. That's why this story matters. Because when tractors break, it's not just metal and oil. It's livelihoods, it's food, it's life. And that's where our story begins. Let's talk John Deere. Green and yellow, iconic. Their machines were built to last and to be fixable by farmers or local mechanics. But then, John Deere got controlling over the software running these tractors. Suddenly, only authorized technicians with special tools could fix them. Repair restrictions, locked software, proprietary diagnostic tools. Farmers were told they couldn't really own them. Farmers saw a way for Deere to make more money on repairs and parts. They saw a loss of independence. It was a threat to their way of life. Farmers started to push back, demanding the right to repair their own equipment. And the fight for the right to repair was on. Now let's take this drama south, to Mexico. Mexican farmers are incredibly resourceful, often working with older equipment and fewer resources. They know their machines inside and out, fixing things with wire and hope. So when John Deere's new repair rules hit Mexico, it was a gut punch. Authorized dealerships? Rare, especially in remote communities. Official repairs? Astronomical costs, long waits. Crops don't pause for bureaucracy. Picture this. It's harvest season, your Deere tractor throws an error code and shuts down. Before, you'd call your cousin or the local guy. Problem solved in hours. Now, you have to call Deere, wait days or weeks while your crops rot. Your income vanishes. It's a nightmare scenario. This wasn't just an annoyance, it was an existential threat. Livelihoods and entire communities were at risk. Mexican farmers felt trapped, squeezed by a distant corporation making decisions that affected their daily lives. They were pushed into a corner. And when you push hardworking people too far, something's gotta give. The frustration turned into anger. The anger turned into resolve. Farmers realized they couldn't rely on Deere. They needed to take matters into their own hands. The stakes were too high to wait for permission. Their survival depended on it. So they started looking for a way out, a way to break free from the digital chains. The pressure was on, and Mexican farmers were ready to fight back. Not with protests, but with ingenuity. They were determined to reclaim control. The repair squeeze had set the stage, and the next move was theirs. The seeds of rebellion were about to sprout. Here's the thing about Mexican farmers. They're resilient. They're fighters. Faced with unfair repair restrictions, they said, "No mas. Enough is enough. We paid for these tractors. We own them. We should be able to fix them." Frustration boiled over and farmers started talking, sharing stories, repair bills, lost time. They realized this wasn't an isolated problem, it was collective. That shared pain sparked unity. They formed groups, first informal, then organized cooperatives and associations. They knew they couldn't take on a global giant alone. They needed a plan, a smart one. Not violence, but brains and collaboration. They pooled their knowledge and ingenuity. the same spirit that helps them coax crops from tough soil. Now, it was aimed at a new problem: breaking free from John Deere's digital chains. The challenge was set. Farmers were ready to get creative and fight for their right to repair. They started researching, learning, and sharing information. WhatsApp groups buzzed with tips and tricks. Local meetings turned into strategy sessions. They mapped out the problem, identified weaknesses in the system. They looked for allies: engineers, tech-savvy youth, anyone who could help. The movement grew, fueled by necessity and determination. It wasn't just about tractors anymore. It was about dignity, autonomy, and survival. The farmers' rebellion was underway. They weren't waiting for permission. They were taking action. And as their network grew, so did their confidence. They were no longer isolated. They were united. And together, they were ready to take on the giant. The fight for the right to repair had truly begun. It was a battle of wits, not just tools, and the farmers were all in. Their message was clear: we won't be locked out of our own machines. We'll find a way, and we'll do it together. The seeds of rebellion had been planted, and they were about to grow. So what did they do? They started looking for workarounds. If John Deere wouldn't give them the keys, they'd find another way in. Some turned to older, simpler tractors. Easier to fix, but not a long-term solution. They needed something for their new machines. That's when the tech-savvy generation stepped up. Younger farmers and local engineers weren't afraid of computers or code. They started investigating Deere's proprietary software, the digital locks, the error codes. They searched for ways to bypass restrictions, to understand the system from the inside out. And they found tools, not from Deere, but from independent developers and hackers abroad. Diagnostic software, firmware flashing tools, sometimes from Eastern Europe. Was it legally gray? Maybe. Risky? A little. But when your livelihood's on the line, you take calculated risks. Desperate times called for digital measures. Farmers learned to run their own diagnostics, clear error codes, and reprogram sensors. They shared this knowledge, teaching each other in barns and workshops. The movement spread quickly. Farmers became their own Deere technicians. The code breakers in overalls were rewriting the rules. This is where the story gets legendary, the 3-week takedown. Maybe not exactly 21 days, but it symbolizes the speed and determination of these farmers. They didn't just download software, they learned it, adapted it, and shared it. WhatsApp groups, secret workshops, person-to-person teaching, farmers in dusty overalls, laptops open, running diagnostics in the field. This became the new reality. Their agility and collective genius built a support network independent of the manufacturer. They crowdsourced a solution to a corporate-created problem. It was grassroots power and technical prowess fueled by necessity. The monopoly was broken by the people who needed it most. This story didn't stay in Mexico, it resonated worldwide. Farmers and consumers everywhere faced similar frustrations with lockdown products. This is the heart of the right to repair movement. If you buy it, you should be able to fix it without impossible barriers. John Deere's actions became a poster child for what the movement fights against. Lawmakers and advocacy groups took notice. People realized how much control companies wanted over things we own. The Mexican farmers' stand became a powerful example. It showed these restrictions aren't unbeatable. Their story fueled a global movement for change. What are the big takeaways? Never underestimate the ingenuity and resilience of farmers. They're problem solvers by nature and necessity. Technology is powerful, but it can also create digital fences. The Mexican farmers didn't reject tech. They took control of it. They adapted it to serve their needs, not corporate profit. Their story inspired farmers worldwide facing similar restrictions. The global fight for the right to repair is ongoing. The Mexican farmers provided a blueprint, a spark of hope. They showed it's possible to stand up and reclaim control. Grassroots innovation can change the game. Their victory had ripples far beyond their fields. The movement is growing, and the future is being rewritten by those who refuse to give up. This story is about more than tractors. It's about power, fairness, and the human spirit. Mexican farmers didn't just fix tractors, they helped fix a broken system. They sent a message: respect your customers, don't underestimate their determination. People will find a way. Their victory planted seeds of hope and empowerment for anyone feeling controlled by big tech. Even against overwhelming odds, ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things. You have more power than you think. Through solidarity and ingenuity, we can cultivate a fairer future, one clever repair at a time.